It may feel like the 2018 elections are a long way away, but in political time, they're right around the corner. Republicans looking to take on Senator Elizabeth Warren, and Democrats dreaming of unseating Charlie Baker, ramping up their efforts. And as Adam Riley tells us, this one may be a little more unpredictable than many might assume.
Job number one for your U.S. Senator should not be to just ask for re-election after doing nothing for 4.5 years.
Geoff Deal's Senate campaign kickoff featured some sharp jabs at Elizabeth Warren, an awkward balloon drop, and plenty of skepticism about Governor Charlie Baker.
He hasn't impressed me.
A recent poll puts Baker's approval rating at 71%, the highest of any U.S. governor. But among Massachusetts conservatives, the picture is different.
I don't think he's conservative enough.
I didn't like the way he was bad-mouthing Trump.
And as Baker ramps up his re-election bid, comments like that are making Republican activist and commentator Ed Lyons nervous.
You know, maybe this isn't going to go the way that people think.
Lyons is a Republican moderate and a big Baker fan. But recently, he outlined a scenario that could cost Baker his job. Imagine, inspired by Donald Trump, the state GOP tacks right, nominating an aggressively conservative Senate candidate who ends up boosting Democratic turnout.
That candidate could also force Baker to constantly be answering to a version of Republicanism that he doesn't subscribe to. More people badgering him, do you agree with this, do you agree with that?
Meanwhile, A.G. Maura Healey decides she'll run for governor. And after landing the Democratic nomination, she makes the race a referendum on the president. When the votes are in, Baker loses by a whisker.
When Charlie Baker was elected, it's because everything went his way, and he barely won. People assume because he has high polling numbers that they'll vote for him, but what if they don't?
If they don't, Lonnie Brennan could be one reason why. Brennan publishes the Boston Broadside, which calls itself New England's only mass-distributed non-liberal newspaper. The Broadside doesn't hold Baker in high regard.
I'll take the blame for printing the picture of Charlie's face on the chicken. He kind of ducks out of a lot of issues.
And come 2018, Brennan says,
I think that a lot of the conservatives are going to say, there's no reason for me to vote for you. You don't represent my values. I think a lot of them will just sit home.
But Brennan also says he can't imagine Baker actually losing, or a conservative candidate like Geoff Deal hurting the Republican cause.
He's the grassroots guy. He's the guy who's gotten Democrats, independents, and Republicans on his side. Tank the gas tax, Geoff Deal.
Also not fretting, Keiko Orrill, the state rep and Republican National Committee woman, even though she admits conservative discontent with Baker is real.
In the communities that voted for Donald Trump, that does seem to be a more of a refrain that I hear.
Still, Orrill thinks voters of all stripes will conclude that with Baker in the corner office, Massachusetts politics have become a model for the nation.
Our governor is really being successful by working across the aisle. That's what people want to see more of.
For Baker, that's the best case scenario. But in this unusual political moment, it's hard to say which predictions will prove to be right.
Adam joins me now. How do you think my head would look on a chicken?
Fabulous. Just terrific.
I think it's me, actually. You know, I watched this piece. Are any of these people say they're actually not going to vote for Charlie Baker? I know the threats, but are they actually not going to vote for the guy?
Of the ones I talked to at the Geoff Deal event, not a one. There was grudging acceptance. You know, he's not great, but he's the best we can do. There were some people who told me he's doing a terrific job, including one guy who then went on to bemoan, I think I can say this on air, Democrat liberal hypocrisy in Massachusetts. So I don't know how often that's.
So they're just trying to force him more to the right? Is that the end game?
Or just venting, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
So Adam Riley, I have a long memory. Did you not do a comparable piece 3 years ago about a guy I will call, I guess, Governor Mark Fisher, who was going at Baker from the right in the primary?
Right? Yes,
Look at the look on your face.
I did, in fact,
whatever happened to him?
Do a package suggesting that Mark Fisher posed a serious threat to Charlie Baker as he ran for governor. He didn't pose much of a threat. He got on the primary ballot after a legal challenge.
I did the debate.
Baker cruised by. And the difference, of course, is that back then it was Mark Fisher stoking the Republican id. Now it's the guy who's sitting in the White House. And as people have pointed out, Donald Trump got more votes when he was elected than Charlie Baker did when he beat Martha Copeland.
I just snuck out of that corner. That was
Thank
a
you
good
very
explanation.
much.
Adam, great to see you. Thanks so much.